The interesting thing about going on this spiritual journey and remastering your nature to manifest the things that you desire and manifest your reality is that we have to really think about our belief systems, and especially those limiting belief systems that has been implanted in you and you have received and took on as just some kind of universal law. And along my journey in spirituality, one of the things that I've noticed is many people tend to be really skeptical about what life and what one person in their life can achieve, even though we have a multitude of examples of people who have achieved great things. But for some reason, when it comes to themselves, when it comes to yourself, when it comes to other people in your circle, you may put a limitation, a restriction on what's possible for you and for them. And so what I want you to do is I really want you to think about and redefine this word realistic. It's one of those words that drive me crazy, to be honest with you. I can't stand when somebody says, oh, that isn't being realistic, or that's not realistic. We have many examples of things that weren't quote unquote realistic, but still was possible through people's imagination and their sheer determination. And so when you think about things that you wish to create, a life that you wish to have and live, when you have been inspired with something amazing and beautiful that may have not been done already, disregard this idea of being realistic, because that is your ego, your mismanaged ego, speaking out of fear. Okay, speaking out of fear of change. And the thing that you want most, really, when it comes to your life and who you are, is change. Because chances are there are things about the way you're living, things about who you're currently being, that doesn't really satisfy you, that doesn't bring true fulfillment to you. And so as you think about these ideas, as you think about these concepts that you're inspired by, but then your ego comes in with this little voice saying, oh, that's not possible. You can't do that. Let's be realistic. Or you have people in your circle who are that voice and they're saying, let's be realistic. That's not something that you can do. Who are you to achieve this? You're crazy, right? Disregard this word realistic to the point where you almost see it as a personal challenge or a reminder that in fact it is possible for you, but you have to be willing to redefine what this thing called realistic and realism is. The truth of the matter is the word and the idea of being realistic isn't itself real. We have many definitions and many ideas or many examples of people that have pushed this idea of realism, being realistic. You know, when the Wright brothers decided they were going to fly and create a plane, many told them it wasn't realistic. When somebody decided they were going to run a mile in under 4 minutes, many people said it was unrealistic. But then once those people did it and achieved that, then all of a sudden it became possible for everybody to achieve. So you have to recognize that for yourself in anything that you want to do, anything that you've been inspired upon to do. Recognize that if you were inspired upon to do it or have the idea, you must be a part of the creation of that thing. That's why universal consciousness, your higher mind, has given you that. It is giving you the path to your personal fulfillment. It is giving you the blueprint of the direction by which you are to go. And when you don't honor that, then it manifests itself in suffering, in depression, in not being fulfilled. Because the very thing that is inspired upon you is the key to your personal fulfillment. Now, don't get it twisted. It's not about achieving something. It's about realizing that you are a creator. It's about understanding your nature and what it is that your consciousness in your entire existence is about, to create. So when you recognize, okay, this idea It's not like it made a mistake and fell upon you when it's supposed to have fallen upon somebody else. This idea that you have was special, was something that was unique and customized and made just for you to create. And when we are not in alignment with ourselves, we often lack the confidence. We often lack the determination to actually move forward in doing whatever it takes to create and manifest our destiny. So let go of this word realistic. Don't be realistic. Be yourself. Be completely and utterly from a place that functions strictly out of magic and miracles, because that is where you essentially come from. Recognize that nothing is impossible. Change that word and see it as I'm possible. When you think about something that isn't, or somebody says that it isn't realistic to achieve that, recognize that they are saying that because it isn't realistic for them, because it isn't their purpose, because they weren't inspired by that, right? That idea didn't fall upon them. Why? Because it isn't meant for them. So yes, it is not realistic for that person. It is realistic to you. That's why you were chosen to be given that gift, that idea. So recognize that, yes, from their reality, it is right for them to say it isn't realistic. The issue is, it isn't realistic for them, and they are now projecting that upon you. So it is your job, your duty, to recognize that everybody is creating their own reality. And the problem is we often project realities upon one another, not understanding that if something isn't realistic to me, right, it doesn't mean it isn't realistic to somebody else, to them. It doesn't mean if something is impossible for me, that it is impossible for them. So understand and recognize the gift that has been given to you with your ideas, with your passions, with your curiosities. Those are the breadcrumbs that are going to lead you to fulfillment and happiness and all the things that you dream about and desire. But you have to be the person that goes forward in faith that you are meant to do that, that you are meant to create that, that you are meant to share that with the world. So go out and do that. Disregard realistic. Don't be real. Be true to yourself. When you are true to yourself, everything that is meant for you, everything that you desire, manifests. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my daily newsletter, and also get access to this free book, The Power Within. When you subscribe to my newsletter, you will always be invited to my Manifestation Monday meetings happening every Monday. It's a live Zoom call that will help and support you to truly tap into your divinity, tap into your nature as a creator of your reality, and ultimately create the fulfillment that longs within you. Thank you so much. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.